Well, if it isn't my impervious imperial subjects, welcome back to the one and true Empire for our final episode. Today, my friends, we are going to be enslaving somebody. As I'm sure you remember, last episode we finally beat the Shattered Empire and founded the true Imperial Order here. And today we need to start doing the same with a few other factions and populations, like all these waster pirates and what have you, but we don't want to just kill them all, we need a workforce. But whoa, Nelly, you don't buy a wagon first without your horse. First and foremost, we need to upgrade our new city district here. As you can see, we have a lot of space. And it is within this space that we plan on building a few new residential areas. These small, close quarters homes, as we've built many times before throughout this series, but in this particular case are only going to be slaves' quarters, just like the ones right next to them. And as you can see, nothing too fancy, really. We really just need enough slaves who can help us with growing all of our crops, and most importantly, Devil Strand, of course, as it is now our main export from the city, or at least the main export that makes us a lot of money, and I'm talking a lot. But after several days of hard labor, we finally have these new residential quarters finished for our up-and-coming slave population. Projects like this should go a lot faster once we fill all these beds. Of course, though, we're going to need plenty of work for our new slave populace, so we are going to be working on some new fields. In these fields here, in the bottom left-hand corner, we're actually going to be planting corn to continue feeding us all. Since we're growing our population with some forced labor workers, we're going to need to feed those workers as well, obviously. And with more crops, we also need more storage areas, so we quickly threw together some storage crates here in this small little weird part in the road that I honestly didn't know what else to do anything with, so this is what we're doing. Now, as we were building all these new projects in the slave district, we were notified that our soldier Kyphones had an affair with our slave Azzy from the Shattered. And as one might imagine, this is a great big massive no-no, and she needs to be punished for this horrendous sin. Now, some possible punishments: we could tar and feather her, we could flog her in the streets in front of all to see, we could execute her, cut off her head, lethal injection. There's a lot of different options, I'm gonna be honest with you, but we're not the Shattered, right? We're not the old Empire, we are the one and true Imperial Order. So instead, I think maybe just a quick and easy demotion is in order, right? Something simple like building her own little home out here in the slave district, and she's not allowed to live in the inner city with the rest of us. She is going to be our only person that's over the slave district, and we could make her commander of all the slaves. Who cares? It's a punishment. Who gives a shit? Besides, we're gonna need somebody out here that can hold down the law and order while the rest of us are frolicking on the inside, enjoying some nice food and wine and things of that sort, as you might imagine. But hold your horses. Breaking news. We have a pregnancy. Apparently, Viet managed to get Foos pregnant. I'd say managed, like I don't know how it happened, but it's incredible. This is our first baby of the new Imperial Order, and I'm just kind of tickled, you know? So Foo's body is going to need a little bit of time to cook up that baby. In the meantime, what say you we start invading some waster pirates, eh? I'm thinking maybe we capture a few settlements, maybe just raid a few and capture prisoners instead. Let's see how we're feeling. Unfortunately for the wasters, though, they are not near as technologically capable as the Shattered were, so they didn't really stand much of a chance. Now, they were putting up a pretty decent fight here and there, but Ah, yes indeed, easily turning thriving waster pirate cities into charred hunks of ash. You know, in most cases though, it seems like they're still trying to live there, even though the cities are basically nothing but ruins at this point. You gotta hand it to them. Actually, come to think of it, they have to hand it to us, and by it, I mean anything that we want, or we're going to murder all of them. And in a lot of cases, that does also mean their populace that we're going to be enslaving, as we've already discussed, of course. Our first rounds of assault against the waster pirate cities and villages and towns and so on and yada 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 ended up giving us about 9 or so slaves. These are the ones that are useful. We took a lot of them in, but I left them out in our other cities from the forces that captured them because, well, they didn't have any decent skills. I don't really care if they execute them or send them to the labor camps or whatever. At the very least, they need to be able to haul, and in this case, as you can see, with this small force of slaves that we have just from the first few attacks, they are easily able to haul in all of our taxes from a cycle or two. This is exactly what we needed. Oh shit. Looks like Bristol is hostile with us. You remember Bristol from last episode, right? A kind stranger from a cult that they said they escaped from, so we took her in. Yeah, her. Well, looks like she's letting out some type of devious dark howls and is calling for someone. Well, I suppose our friend Aiden Schnell 1015 was right when they said not to trust Bristle. I should have listened. We immediately began encircling her and beating her to the ground, but she wasn't the threat. Out of the dark in the south, near the city's entrance, arose an army of sight stealers. We began doing everything that we could to push them back and stop them from entering the city, where they could go into the shadows, hide and sneak up behind any of us and kill us at any time. We threw flares, we burned them, we fired our rifles at them, and I must say that under these circumstances we generated an incredible response, funneling them through the entrance and firing at them almost like a kill box. But it's not, and we would end up killing the majority of them. Well, it would seem that Bristle's stupid little plan didn't work after all. Good thing that we caught them all quite quickly, otherwise our empire might have crumbled before it really got started. But not all of the sight stealers were dead. Many of them were just simply incapacitated. What to do. I have an idea. We're going to capture as many of them as possible and take them into their milking stations. We can use them to generate bioferrite, which we can use for anything we want, and we can also sell it. Although we did end up capturing so many of them, in fact, that we had to make some makeshift holding pens in our storage facilities. We'll get around to making them proper homes soon, though. As for right now, our top priority is punishing Bristle. What do we do with her? Right? She does have some keen abilities, but she also kinda tried to sabotage our capital city by invading it with an army of unnatural creatures. Let's turn her into a ghoul. Yes, indeed. At least now she won't be totally useless, right, Bristle? Good on you, girl. That's the spirit. Now then, as for the sight stealers that she tried to take over with, we are going to create some proper milking stations in our milking mountain here. That's what I've been referring to it as in my head. Until now, I've finally said it out loud. I hope you're not judging me too hard. And we quickly threw them into their cells so we can get that sweet, succulent bioferrite. However, all these new bioferrite milking machines require power, and since we're expanding the city by, well, a lot, we have an entirely new district that needs lights and all kinds of other electronics. We need to work on producing more power. So we're actually going to be making some geothermal generators on the outside of the city. Not to worry though, as they're going to be well protected by many a slate wall and steel door, so they should be good to go. These should keep the city powered furthermore with many years to come. We'll probably end up making some other types of power generation, like adding in more wood-fired generators as backup, but I think this is good. Now, given how large the city is at this point, we do need some extra batteries though in the milking mountain. That way we have somewhere to put all the power that our geothermal generators are, well, generating. So we ended up throwing some more of those in. Would you look at that? The Ivory Marvel, the capital city. It looks so wonderful. I love it ever so much, and it's going quite well, including our slave district, which I almost completely forgot about. We need to continue filling it with slaves. Now, we do have some other options for populations to enslave, like the pig pirates and the nudist tribes, as we're at war with the waster pirates, who are not long for this world, I might add. Oh, what's this? It would appear that the pig pirates want to have some peace talks. Okay. The Empress herself, along with her diplomatic entourage, has decided to go, and the peace talks were described as being triumphant, which I would expect nothing less, seeing how they've watched us take out the Shattered and now basically make the Waster Pirates extinct. I think it's the right thing for them. Ah, does it feel good to be back, baby. We now have our royal subjects, the Outlanders and the Pig Union, both of which our allies, both of which at our mercy and even under our command. Not only did the Pig Union not want to die because we would obviously kill them and nuke them into the Stone Age with anti-grain warheads, but they were also very eager to have a new trading partner. They even sent us a slaver. I suppose a little birdie must have told them about our slave district project and how we plan on exporting plenty of goods with those slaves. I told them I was the little birdie. We would end up purchasing 2 new additions to the district, and as a courtesy, they even gave us one of their mercenaries who is currently adorning some Imperial Trooper attire. Don't mind if I do. Well, since our new allies being so courteous with us, I thought we would return the favor, and we would start hiring and recruiting many of their pig mercenaries into our ranks, equipping them with the trooper armor and an SMG. Nothing too fancy, unlike our own Imperial troops, but a nice contract of us working together and establishing this relationship with them is going to be great. And not only that, but having their assistance makes it so much easier for us to take over these waster towns and cities. Of course, we were willing to share plenty of territory and loot with our new snorting friends. But the populace? Oh, no, my friends. The populace is ours to take. This time around, we only had about 5 useful slaves, but that is just enough to begin work on a brand new field, 2 fields technically, of Devil Strand in the lower right-hand corner of the district. These fields and these enslaved workers are going to be making us a lot of money. All that, along with our taxes. I mean, needless to say, we are obviously the richest faction in government on the planet. I mean, I think that goes without saying, right? However, more slaves also means more trouble if they all rebel. So we're going to be working on some new defenses. We are doubling up on our already doubled up walls, and we are building a shit ton of turrets on the inside of this district to prepare us for any mishaps. Besides, I mean, we would rather see the turrets tear them apart than see them tear us apart if there's only 1 or 2 of us within the district during that time. And as I was admiring the new baby yaks that we've had for some time and the new names that we gave to them, we actually ended up having a grand slave rebellion. I swear to God, this isn't scripted, but I am very glad that this happened about a day after we finished up these defenses. And yes, we only had about 2 soldiers in the slave district when it happened, so I am very grateful for them once more. Our turrets literally began shredding them apart. I saw arms and thumbs and eyes flying every which way. Well, now that's just, that's unfortunate. The rebellion was put down rather quickly, mostly in part to the fact that not all of the slaves rebelled. It was a good portion of them, but people like Azzy here, they didn't really want to fight us. Rightfully so. But not all of the slaves ended up dying. Some of them were bleeding out in our fields, and we started tending to their wounds. We'll try not to hold any grudges against them, but if they do that again, we might just execute the lot of them. And now, as for the slaves who did die, we took them to the body pile and disposed of them. Ah, can you smell that? That smells like a failed uprising. Speaking of defenses, while we're working on such, I think I'm going to build a great big shield right in the middle of town, right in front of the Archotech monolith. It would actually end up costing us the last of the advanced components that we currently have, but that's not really an issue, as our allies are sure to give us some. We could purchase some from orbital traders, or we could just make our own, who cares? Besides, it is well worth it. As you can see, when activated, it covers a pretty decent portion of the city, most important part of the city, if you will. As you can see, it's actually protecting the bedroom and the throne room of the Empress, so not much need for anywhere else, though I guess we could chuck a few here and there, who knows. Sticking with our theme of working our defenses, we started building 2 large autocannons as well. Giant autocannons is actually what they're called, around our defenses. Now, we might not really need to do this because we could call in our reinforcements any time that we like, but we have heard intel around the planet and rumor that the Waster pirates are setting up a pretty large last final hurrah against us. So I think these will be nice to have. But they had better not attack right now. Why? Because Foos and Viet are having their sweet baby. Oh, the miracle of childbirth. How sweet. Such a happy and beautiful family. All thanks to me. Us, the Empire. Hello there, sweet soul. You are going to be our new best buddy. We need to name you. How about Jenny? I think you and the Empress are going to be fast friends. Oh, look, she's already taken a liking to you. Such a sweet moment. It could almost make you forget that we're conquering an entire nation full of people. Almost. But I'm afraid, my friends, we must snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Anyhow, though, we have basically completely finished off the Waster pirates. An entire nation torn apart, other than a few abandoned cities, which, as I mentioned earlier, they are extremely reluctant to leave. Though, as I think about it, instead of invading these abandoned cities, what if we just left them there to their own devices and let them kind of just live there? We'll oppress them, of course, and stomp out any new settlements they come up with, but these abandoned cities they live in could fuel our slave population. Now, obviously, we could end up doing the same with the nudist cannibal pirate tribe, whatever they are, but the thing is, I just really don't care about them, and instead I think we're just going to conquer them and kill every single one of them that we find. I think that is a much more fitting punishment for the crime and sin of eating flesh, human flesh, I might add. And as you've seen, we basically conquered all of the cannibal nudist in one night, about 2 nights to be exact. Now you might be asking yourself, Rat Daddy, how in the hell did you pull that off? These Neanderthal bastards, surely they're stronger than that. Let me show you. Yeah, it turns out when you drop anti-grain warheads on all of their pitiful little villages, they give up pretty easy. Yet another of our enemies defeated. Our last enemy, funny enough. The Empire is finished. We have retaken this planet, and it is ours. We have 2 allies who are under our dominion, and we could easily stomp them out if we had to, but we shouldn't have to. I think we're finished, guys. I really do think we are. The capital city's all filled out and looking great, and we have all the research, the money, everything we could ever want. What else is there? Oh, I had almost forgot about you Waster pirates. I suppose this is supposed to be that one last final hurrah battle that we had heard about. Oh, and it looks like they have plenty of soldiers too. Maybe this actually will be pretty fun. Upon further inspection, they even have some of the last few remaining members of the Shatter among them. Oh, joyous days. This is going to be fun. As they began to approach the city entrance, our autocannons would start pounding them with bullets, and we also called in our reinforcements, and this was sure to be one of the, if not the, largest battles that we have ever conducted, not just in this series, but in any series. It was literally an absolute bloodbath, thanks to our Cyclone miniguns, autocannons, and anything and everything else that these soldiers had. We eviscerated the Waster pirates, turned them into a fine mist on the ground like strawberry pudding. After witnessing the absolute torment in the gigantic tox cloud that was forming, that was their soldiers being ripped limb for limb by our wargs and ghouls and being shot to death, they did the only thing they could do. They left. And that might be the smartest thing that the Waster pirates have done this entire episode. They fled back to their cities, where we'll come for them shortly to enslave a few of them, but we'll leave what they need necessary to produce more Waster pirates. This is kinda dark. But anyways, after defeating them, really all we had left were a few wounded soldiers, emphasis on a few, as you can see, and we had quite a big mess to clean up. A bit anticlimactic, as they didn't even put a dent in our armor, metaphorically. Well guys, I suppose we truly have done it, haven't we? We rebuilt the shattered empire. Thanks for watching. Hello, I'm coming to you at the end of the episode here, not only to say thank you for watching this episode, but thank you for watching this entire series, and thank you for all your support on it. It really does mean a lot to me. This has actually become one of my favorite series, definitely probably top 10, maybe even top 5. I always love playing as the Empire, or taking on the Empire and playing with the actual Empire 1.5 mod. It's really fun, it's always a blast and a great time, and you guys really seem to like it too. But again, thank you guys. I hope you truly have enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.